beautiful, we are live. Welcome to round 3 of SSR. It is time for Monza, and also first of all, let's have a little bit of a look at the final race results of the last round in Portimao. I thought about making a community post, I forgot to do so, I am very sorry. However, we've got a couple little changes here. So we've got an incident between Red and Fish Gamer, and 5-second penalty and 1 penalty point for Fish Gamer. That's the reason he's dropped down to P12 there. So that was where we saw one of the McLaren gets spun at turn 3 by the Alpine. We've got an incident between Lime in the Alfa Romeo and F1 Racing Short in the Alfa Romeo. Lime and F1 Racing Short can be seen next to each other, meaning Lime needed space. However, the Alfa Romeo completely swipes Lime off the track, causing him to get wing damage and the loss of lots of positions. 5-second pen and 1 penalty point to F1 Racing Short. Drops down to, well, it says here P6, it is P7. That is because Lime has, no, not because of that. Lime's 3-second time pen removed. That was track limits stuff. Then the last thing, and the actually interesting thing, is going to be Dan Ferrari Tier 1 will receive a race ban due to apparently causing a safety car for fun, which dramatically helped his teammate, and he also retired on track, which is obviously not allowed. So there you've got that. Ferrari not racing in Monza, their home race. They have been banned, but the second one, Wards, also receives a race ban. If this carries on, there will be more drastic punishments such as disqualifications or longer race bans. Please behave, you two, is the message from Race Direction. Your race ban can be served at Monza. There you have it, so no Ferraris this round. Which, well, very much so to the disappointment of the home crowd. So we're going to have a Ferrari-free weekend, which is, well, interesting to say the least. Alright, so let's open chat. Let's have a look at the race. We have 10 cars here in qualifying, as you can see. So yeah, as I already said, no Ferraris here, obviously, so, yeah, gap, fastest lap, camera, broadcast, detail, tyre, not really best. We can enable telemetry, lap data, give me a full track map, there we go. Lovely, lovely, Now, who is going to be the first car out on track? It's the waiting, and there we see Mercedes getting out there. That is Yin Mowers. Preparing for a lap on intermediates, so, well, don't expect some miracle lap times here. Also not from the Williams of Matti Jonga, also out on intermediates, doing a bit of a reconnaissance lap here, let's see. But we've got a Haas, a Red Bull, Lindsay, and that, well, that must be Clegg. No, yes, it is Clegg in the, I'm just going to say Clegg, I don't know how exactly I'm supposed to say that, so yeah, Clegg out in the Red Bull on a soft compound of tyres, and we have Tim Bleich already standing in a wall here, which is curious to see. he's on full wet tyres, and I'm not exactly sure what has happened here. But it doesn't look like he's got... Oh, Tim is disqualified from the session. That is interesting. How do you manage that? Incidents, race director. We've got Imo race across the pit lane exit, Marsa Jan as well. Tim Bleish blocking the pit lane. I am very curious. And I'm just going to ask him live here during the stream what happened on pit exit, and hopefully he's going to respond to the question, because then we'll know what is happening. As we go towards turn 1 for the first time, we see there, nice turn in. That looked pretty nimble through the chicane, pretty nice. The usual, he says. He said the usual happened. As we continue into the Variante della Roger, nice rotation there on entry, decent exit by the looks of it. And now this corner is crucial. If you get the setup wrong, you can get some bad understeer there. That didn't look like he was using all of the track there. Also, be careful there on the exit of the second Lesmo. Today I will do qualifying. It's the end. It's a day the world will end, says Tim. Well, fair enough. But Marcel Jan says my wheel had no false feedback and then brakes got messed up. Good start. Yeah, well. We've got Fish Gamer not on a lap. Falcon could be on a lap. Let's ride on board into Parabolica. Oh, the DSQ was the reason to do it. No way I'm starting in the middle of the pack at Monza. Now that is interesting. So, well, we've got some master strategies here from Tim. Let's look at Yima. He's out on wet now. That is an interesting tyre selection. Is he in a fast lap? Let's follow the Alpine there, roll chat. Well, good day, sir. You can stay here, Warts. It's fine. Well, so Tim already got a disqualification on purpose in order to start last. Which, I mean, with 10 cars on the grid, I mean that shouldn't be such a big issue at turn 1, but well, it's turn 1 at Monza. So we see the Alpine deck right on the limit on the exit of the Ascari chicane. Beautiful that. Now there's a Red Bull, gets out of the way in front of the Parabolica very nicely. That was Falcon there getting out of the way perfectly for Fish Gamer to finish his lap and go P4 in 1:21.7, but that is already 2.2 seconds off provisional pole that Red Bull, and we see cutting the track there, and maybe race direction will have a bit of a look at that, because you can obviously gain time there by cutting the chicane, and you could gain time in order to get an extra lap. There we go again. So yeah, you can obviously here make up time for another lap, but there's a yellow flag in the final sector. That is Janne going through the last corner here, powering through Parabolica, gearing up for another lap. So here we go. But yeah, Fish Gamer there cutting the track, and obviously it gives you, as I said, an advantage. You might get another lap in if you do that. And I'd like to see the session timer, but there's yellow flag blocking it, so if someone would mind, just stop producing a yellow flag in sector 3. But that looks to be Fish Gamer actually, so yeah, I think he's not really gaining an advantage here on this in lap. But yeah. Ooh, that's a bit wide, and there we go. The lap is invalid, and we have another yellow flag in sector 3, would you mind? We have 10 minutes to go, so the idea is that you get still 2 laps in. But yeah, I think that shouldn't really be a problem, regardless. I'm assuming that Janne here has turned off his... No, he hasn't turned off his ERS. I thought he turned off his ERS and was recharging, but he's given a tow to his teammate Matti Jonga, and the question is he going to stay out? No, he isn't, as we follow Matti crossing the line, and he goes 120.1, 7/10 off pole position right now as it stands. As we see Red Bull here on an outlap on intermediates for the second time. Yinmo on his wets. He's not done a serious lap yet. Whilst we see Scott go for it in the Mercedes. CRS is on, as you can tell. And he's now going into a Scari. Not quite caught the first apex there. Exit is fine. He's not invalidating. There's a Yinmo giving him a bit of a tow maybe, as he slows down for the Parabolica 5th gear, really powering through the exit there, going for the line P4, 119.7, about 2.5 3/10 off provisional pole. That is a really good lap, and he's cutting the track now at turn 1, and he might get in 2 laps if with doing that now, so I am not sure. But I mean, if the league owner does it, it's probably legal. I thought I had read something in the rules that it isn't when I was racing, but maybe they've removed it from the rules, or nobody cares about this particular one. I don't know. I might not say anything in the Discord server. Don't really want to be a snitch. But let's follow the Haas then. Absolutely powering through that chicane, throwing the car through. And Glasmo, this looked decent. Now this one's really important on exit, 5th gear. Bit of curb there on the exit, that's absolutely fine, you can take that one. Just don't run too wide, but if you run too wide you're going to lose time anyways. Focusing now on a Scari, getting the first apex there. Good line through the second one, yeah, that works out. That didn't look perfect through the second one. The first one was kind of good, but then I felt like maybe the turn-in was a bit too late. The angle through the first corner wasn't right. Parabolica looked fairly okay. And the lap is, well, abandoned. As we go with Marcel Jan towards the last corner. He's on a soft run, first one of his qualifying weekend, or at least the first one that will count. Heading towards the line here, just taking a tight line, not heading for the pit lane. P2, 1:19.541, just under a tenth off. Provisional pole as we follow the championship leader, I believe, as it is. I think he must be championship leader. I actually haven't quite checked. No, I think Walt is championship leader. I'm not sure exactly, but he's certainly a championship contender. I mean, it doesn't really matter after 2 rounds. It doesn't really say a lot yet, but there's Matty on an out lap, and he's really giving a big toe to his teammate here. He's going to tuck in behind through Parabolica as Janne just slightly misses the apex. Matty starting his lap behind here, you can see. Janne sets a 1:19.0 and goes provisional pole 4:10 faster. And Matty now getting to Slipstream here on the main straight, and that's going to help him out massively in terms of lap time as we see a very neat first chicane here. As he's going to head down towards the first sector split. This is going to be a purple first sector, I think it must be. Looking at the mini-map, I'm not sure if it's just not being shown. But I think if it were a purple sector, we would be shown on the mini-map and also on the top right there. But, I mean, this game is weird when it comes to the splits. I've said this before. I am a bit annoyed with the way it works exactly. But yeah, he's 4/10 down, nearly, on his previous lap time on this run. So he's on for a 1:19.7, that is, so he might just go P6 maybe on this lap, and just that alone shows you the incredible difference between the two teammates as he goes about 4/10 quicker, stays just behind Scott Alwood in the Mercedes as Yin Maurice jumps up the order. Here we got Fish Gamer 6 seconds down in the first sector, but I think he set a lap time on Inters. He's got no battery though. He's 10 seconds down, massive corner cut. The lap is invalid anyways. What is he doing? I do not understand. They're all on an in lap. Oh, I get it. They're all on an in lap and they're all trying to get another lap as we see Yamaris do the same. I was just confused at what was happening, but yes, of course. They're all wanting to get another lap in. We're gonna see all the cars pretty close together, I reckon, on that last one. Though, well, Scott is out. Yinmo's on. They're all on an in lap. The two that are out now, except Scott Alwood. He's on the out lap, as you can, well, see on your screens, as it says there. He's gonna be looking to get some clean track. I don't know if he's hoping that some people will go on outlap and that he'll have some slipstream, but now one of the Williams has pulled the trigger. Which one is it? As they're leaving the pit lane, there's a Red Bull leaving now as well. We'll soon see which ones they are, but we're going to go on board with Scott for a lap, because Janne and Clark on their outlaps, well, they're not going to finish their outlaps before Scott finishes his hot lap. I don't think so, but we've got more cars coming out of the pit lane now. We've got Marcel Jan leading Lindsay in the Haas. No, sorry, now the Haas is ahead. So we've got lots of people on the outlap. There could be some DRS, sorry, some slipstream gambles around here. As we see the Haas getting out the way here perfectly. The Mercedes just completely getting out the way. Scott dips it into the gravel though on the exit of the chicane. That's certainly not going to help his lap timers. I think he's I'm not sure if he's abandoning. Yeah, he looks to be abandoning the lap. he's abandoned, and he's going to go again at the end of the lap as we follow Janne. The first one to go out there, the provisional pole sitter, and watch what he can do on his final lap now. 58 seconds to go as he crosses the line. This will be everybody's final attempt here, and I think that is Matti Jonga there who's out in sector 2 there. He's got to see that he's going to get a lap, but I think he'll be fine. Not sure how much time there still is, I can't tell. 32 seconds, yeah, that will be enough, just about. But he can't just wait too long as we follow the Williams here through the two Lesmos. This is a very key place. The first one less than the second one, and that was just cutting it fine there. I thought he was nearly on the grass there with at least part of his tyre on entry, but the turn looked very, very good. And now powering through Ascari, that looked very neat there, very planted. That is a fantastic lap here. He's on absolutely flying run. Yilmaz already finished his qualifying, so he's got a 1:19.3. He's not going to improve any further. You can see Janne's going to cross the line, and it's going to be 1:18.992. We follow Fish Gamer. He's at the end of the ladder here. He's last of the cars, well, still in this session, as Tim already disqualified. It's powering through the last corner here. Claire can't improve to P2 as he gets beaten by his teammate Falcon. Fish Gamer can't get above P9 here. Matti Jonga. Marcel Jan sets a 1:18.982, just 100 faster than Janne. We're in for an exciting race here. Matti has got more potential, I think. He can go a little faster. The question is just, what is the time going to be? He finishes P7, 1:19.503. It just is not to be. It's not meant to be anymore here for him, and Scott has abandoned his run. I think he's going to cross the finish line just to make this a little bit faster here, as he's weaving across the line, but he's not pole sitter, he's just P8. But there we go, the grid is set. Marcel Jan sets pole position ahead of Jan Eman, Lindsay Dickey. Yilmaz is P4, Falcon, X7 Clark, Matti Jonga, Scott Alwood, Fish Gamer, Tim Bleich disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane, and that was, as he told me, absolutely on purpose. He didn't want to start in the middle of the pack at Monza. He wanted to be at the back so he doesn't get involved in any carnage at turn 1. So you're probably going to see him take it very easy at the start of the race, just trying to hang back a little through turns 1 and 2, just not go too crazy into 3 and 4, 4 and 5. Just let the others do the fighting, and he's just gonna hang back, watch, and then start to race after the first 2 sectors is probably when we'll see him go more on the attack. It's certainly an interesting strategy. It certainly is. When we did Monza last season, I didn't qualify very far up, I think, so I didn't really have a problem. But the race start wasn't actually too bad, at least from what I remember. So we are now just waiting for everyone to decide their race strategy. Race fuel is going to be an important one. At Monza you can underfuel the car a bit, definitely, depending on how low wings you're actually running. I think I ran somewhere like 9 wings here, but there might be people running less. I think that it could be that. I don't think anybody tries 0 wings, but maybe someone risking something like 7. There might be people who think that the second sector is a bit more important, that they want to maybe also protect the tires a bit better, have a little bit less sliding around, so they might run 11, something like 11, 12 wings, somewhere in that region. As we see the race start here, we've got Marcel Jan successful. Why is Janne ghosted? Lindsay goes into P2. Let's look at everything here. Kicking off behind. Jimmo into P2. Lindsay on the outside through turn 3. Grande Curva into... Oh, Janne has completely cut the chicane. Got a 5-second penalty there. Jimbo dropping to P4. There's stuff in the background happening here between the two Williams cars. Matti going easily past Janne, and I really don't know what is happening. Tyres are probably interesting, telemetry less so, lap data not really, and we want the interval gaps. Janne has lost his front wing. I have no clue. Why the hell? Well, he went ghost. He might have disconnected. He might have reconnected, and then maybe through a mistake recorrect and cut the chicane, possibly something like that. It's a very strange thing to happen to him, I think. As he's here with his broken front wing, and I think he's trying to stay out and hope for a safety car. But he's got front wing damage. Maybe he got a hit before the chicane, and I mean, maybe the disconnect or the... Maybe for some reason he had to go into the pause menu. That would explain why he was ghosted. It's all a bit strange. And something else I'm noticing, Janne started on the medium tyre. Now he could go hard to the end of the race probably if there was an early safety car. As we see some battling here for P4, that is. Clean move down the inside, nicely done. And the Mercedes has been demoted by one place. As we... Ooh, there we go. We've got the first incident. Now I don't see any front wing damage on the Alpine or on the Haas. So I think they're both able to continue, but it certainly cost them a lot of time as Janne has switched to soft compound tyres there. Decided to make a pit stop and repair his front wing, get rid of his penalty, and he's now far back, but he can run some good pace on those soft tyres. And hopefully that will allow him to catch back a little bit. I mean, obviously he's not gonna just get back to the end of the train so easily, but he's certainly going to be closing in, and that's going to be very important, just sort of being closer. It just gives you also a bit of confidence if you're not too far off, and a little bit of just, you know, that extra motivation. It's when you start to lick blood, you're like, I'm closing in, I'm getting closer. If something happens, I can be there, I can respond. I am not just in no man's land. Well, right now he is, but he'll sort of come back. But I mean, he knows his situation, and now we'll see if he can just get his head down and just, you know, do what he needs to do. Falcon putting a move here on Marcel Jan. There's a bit hairy, this whole situation here with the Haas on the grass. Then Lindsay goes there at turn 1. Yinmo goes past. I didn't quite get what happened there at turn 1 and 2. But yeah, Lindsay on the grass there. I'm not sure if the Haas was pushed off track by Marcel Jan, or if it's just some weird incident, if it's like, I have no idea. Yannis sets the fastest lap, 1:21.755. That will probably not persist to the end of the race. I doubt it will. But I shall certainly ask the Haas if there is a safety car. Oh, as I speak of it, Fish Gamer is round. Adascari probably spun on the exit by the looks of it. Gets back on the road now, but those rear tyres are going to be absolutely done so, as we've got a move Matty Jonga on Scott Alwood, as Scott is here fighting Clerk, and the Red Bull was ghost there for a moment, and not really sure what is happening now. It's the Red Bull who gets it a bit hot on the brakes there. Back end coming out a bit, maybe brake bias a little bit more forwards, maybe a little too aggressive on that setting as Fish Gamer pits for the hard tyres, so he could technically go to the end of the race if that was what they wanted, as we see Yinmo make a move here before Ascari using DRS on Lindsay in the Haas. We've got 3-second time penalty for Tim Bleisch, that is for track limits. By the looks of it, multiple warnings usually means it's track limits anyways. We've got Marcel in P2 running with Falcon, and the question is, are they going to work together, as Marcel has a bit of a look, tries to probably frighten Falcon a bit there, but everything calm so far, as we got a bit of a battling group here. Matty Jonga sort of creating a gap now. He's over a second from Scott Alwood, so maybe the soft's already starting to fade a little bit as we're already on lap 7, so they're 6 laps old. Clerk and Tim Bleish here running close to Scott. But let's go to the lead battle. I think most of the stuff is going to happen on the main straight. But as I say that, Marcel goes for the move on the inside of a Scary Falcon, trying to hang it round there by the looks of it, but he has to tuck in. I think he just didn't have the grip there really to hold up, as a Mercedes of Yinmo in the background is wide. But yeah, we've got Falcon on the inside of Parabolica. That is certainly costing them time as Yinmo runs through Parabolica here. We're going to follow Falcon still as he's going to attack P1 again. Really going for it on the Aston Martin with DRS. The Aston no chance in a straight line. Lindsay trying to get a move on Yinmo, but Yinmo with too much straight line speed keeps the position into turn 1. And as we look further behind, Clerk past Scott Alwood. Scott now fighting Tim Bleish on the exit of turn 2 as Tim just gets past, better traction, better momentum through Curva Grande, and down to P8 for Mercedes, up to P7 for the AlphaTauri, although Tim still got a 3-second penalty already for track limits, so bear that in mind as the Haas of BMH66 comes out of the pit lane, boxed for hard compound tyres, and that was a bit of a cut there at turn 1, and on strict track limits I reckon that is indeed a warning. We can check if that was. No, it isn't actually. Interesting. Oh no, sorry. I have to open incidents. Yes, track limits. I can't leave. I can't get out of the menu. What? How? I can't. We're having some stream issues. I can't get out, and I can't get out with the keyboard either, so only option is to just shut the game and try and get back in. Right, get back in the game. So, yeah, I'll have to try and hope that somebody can invite me again. But I mean, they're all racing, so I mean, I don't want to ruin anybody's race particularly, but maybe someone could do that. Oh, I can't ping. Good. I'll try and see if Janne would do that. Because he's, well, sort of nowhere right now. Yes, yes, he's done it. Good man. Yes. Yes, thank you so much. Spectate. Thanks a lot. Alright. Details, stops, tire, telemetry, full track map. So we still see battle for the lead as Falcon actually dives into the pit lane. Matty Jonga on the main straight, half as interesting. Falcon. Double stack for Red Bull. Is that going to work out? Not quite. Bit of a slow stop. Is that going to cost Red Bull something? Janne goes now for it on the outside of BMH. Not happening. It's not quite happening. Janne will be trying to stay out as long as possible, waiting for a safety car, because that would be the best thing that could get him back into the race. And, well, he's saved the stream, so let's hope for his sake that this is going to go well for him this race. As we've got BMH on already full lap old hearts, which should not be a problem, but Janne wearing softs, and then behind it is Scott Alwood in the Mercedes on super fresh mediums. So he's going to be going for it. Some of the front runners are still out on the mediums they started on, as Marcel Jan goes for a pit stop. Yinmo stays out, Lindsay stays out. Does Matti stay out? Positive, yes he does. As we see here, Janne really not perfect there through the Ascari, but that's probably down to the tyres, I would assume. So I think we'll see him get overtaken by two cars here. The question is just, is it going to be a 2 for 1? For Scott, he goes in the middle, makes it 3 wide there for a brief moment as Janne drops back. He's on the outside, he's pushed onto the curb a bit there. Rough going as he pushes back a little through turn 2, but eventually the Haas just gets the better traction there. But he goes on the outside into Variante Della Roger, pass into the middle sector, forced it through there. Clean this time, no contact. Apologies. And great move from Scott, well done from BMH to avoid contact. As Yinmo is in the pits, so is Lindsay in the Haas. So we go for a pit stop. Nice job from the Haas crew there. As now Matty and Tim are the only ones still out there on their original set of tyres. So it'll be interesting. BMH gets a 5-second for speeding in the pit lane. Curious, but he's DNF, so he's retired in the pits now. I would not have done that. Around Monza, with just 11 cars in the running, you just need one person to crash into a wall, or get a silly penalty. You might just get 1 point, and 1 point is better than nothing. You could still get a second one if you manage fastest lap. There could always be a safety car around this track, as I think BMHCI has just gone back out on track. That's not really his fault. Retired in the pit lane at the start of the pit lane. That's all you can do. That's the best you can do. Retiring on track is illegal, but the AI driving back out is not really your control, is it? So yeah, I think race director will have a bit of mercy there, because technically the rules say that you are now responsible for what your AI does on track. However, I think in this instance that doesn't really apply. 3 seconds for Fish Gamer, there you go. Another track limits penalty. As Matti is leading a so far quiet race, with Tim behind, just closing in a tiny bit here through this second sector. The question is just, will he get close enough through the course of the lap, eventually getting that DRS, because now he's dropped back massively through Ascari. So I think they're just yo-yoing about for now, sort of stalemate situation here going on, as Janne is now in a phase where he's losing time there at the back of the field again, so he's probably still hoping for a safety car, but that might not happen. That might be not happening, as he gets now a 3-second time penalty. That's not much to worry about. He can make a pit stop and overtake Fish Gamer again, because he should have a set of mediums still. He should have a set of fresh softs as well, because he didn't use all 3 sets, I think, in qualifying, as we got Clerk DNFing for I don't know what reason exactly. Is there any contact? Let's check the race director. Not really. Oh, that's odd. As Tim is now completely falling off the cliff. I think his mediums are in the second phase of tyre wear, and Tim is really not dealing well with that now. So I think it's definitely time to make a pit stop. Although 11 laps, that could have been a possibility of going soft, which would probably be better than hards, definitely. But they would wear a bit towards the second half of that stint, and you'd still drop quite a few positions. So yeah, he's staying out for now. Staying out. But so far we've seen a bit of a quiet race, calm race. Janne is now stopping. Will be interesting to see if he's going to get out ahead of Fish Gamer, as we follow the Alpine for once, who is definitely going to score 2 points this race. Red Bull is not going to score despite P10, because you have to have covered 90% of the leader's race distance, which is not going to be the case. As we see Fish Gamer getting out. Not even close to Janne. Janne already through the first chicane as Fish Gamer just enters it, so yeah, not even close. Falcon though getting closer, slowly but surely, or actually quite rapidly, to Tim Bleich, as he's on way fresher medium tyres, 11 laps fresher in fact, so yeah, that's quite a difference, you might call that. As Fish Gamer gets another 3-second penalty. Tim and Matty still persisting on staying out though. It's crazy, but yeah, Matty definitely got more pace than Tim, so yeah, I can kind of see what he's going for, but both of them are not really fast right now, as Tim is definitely trying to hang on here, but Falcon's got this, I think, into the second Lesmo, as we get a bit of an awkward camera angle, but Tim is actually re-attacking. Tim is re-attacking, and that's going to help Matty. That's going to help Marcel Jan behind. That's going to help Yinmo out. But for his own race, it's not really doing much, to be honest, as we have a yellow flag, that is Scott Alwood in the barriers. That is really a bit surprising. I think he might have front wing damage. We'll see if he's going to stop, as we see a spin from Fish Gamer out of the chicane. Scott Alwood got the penalty for track limits there. Interesting. As Tim has lost his position to Marcel Jan now. Don't try and fight it, Tim. Just try and hold on. Try and keep DRS. It will give you a little bit of extra pace. Just keep going. Scott retires from session at the Parabolica. And I hope for his sake he crashed, otherwise that is going to be a penalty. I'm not even sure what the penalty is for retiring on track. I think it might be a qualifying ban for the next round, or it's I don't think it's points deduction, as we've got a spin from Fish Gamer. That now got a bit suspicious because he's now spun twice shortly after a yellow flag, so or during a yellow flag, so maybe trying to cause a safety car there, question mark. Drive-through penalty, speeding on the VSC from Matty Jonga in the lead of the race, and he's going to dive in straight away, serving that pen. As we see Fish Gamer, no, Yana, who's in? Tim is in. The question is, has he got a drive-through, or is he just going for a pit stop? He could go softs now, try fastest lap. AlphaTauri pit crew is ready, so he's on a regular pit stop. Falcon now leading the race, as we see Fish Gamer with another spin. Yet again, getting back on track here. I mean, to be fair, his tyres are also pretty knackered after the first one, which was definitely after the yellow flag, so that one I wouldn't say was suspicious. Also, this is just speculation. I'm not actually accusing him of trying to cause a safety car, especially since the Ferrari got a race ban for causing a safety car for fun. I mean, but to be fair, Dan said it was just for fun, causing that safety car, so that doesn't really do anything to help his case. As we got a yellow flag again, Fish Gamer spun again, and now it gets a little bit suspicious, because if you spin so many times, you start driving a bit more careful. At least you'd think someone would do that, but apparently not. Also, he's lapped. No, he must be. He must be lapped. Because look at the minimap. The Alpine is ahead of the Williams of Janne, but he's definitely not ahead in terms of the pecking order here on the left, as we can clearly see. Matty Jongana makes his pit stop for fresh soft tyres, I presume, as Falcon trying to go down the inside, but we've got a safety car, we don't know what for, but Matty now with essentially a free pit stop. Tyres are irrelevant, penalties now are more relevant, as we see Marcel Jan leading Falcon still, Yinmo P3, Lindsay P4, Tim now Is he gonna stop or is he gonna stay out? He's got slightly older softs. Actually, let's get back to the tyre overview. He's got 1 lap old soft, so he might stay out. It could be that he gains track position on Lindsay if Lindsay stops, but I doubt it. And also, he can just stop against Marty Jonga and it wouldn't make a single difference, as Janne has 0 lap old soft, so he stopped Fish Gamer on mediums. Why is he slowing down? What is he doing? As we are following the leaders into the pit lane now on board here, as Aston Martin is ready for their driver to make a pit stop. Soft tyres on, no hold up for Falcon, no hold up for Yinmo. Lindsay is just now turning in. Tim might as well go for it to the pit lane. The question is, will Matty might just get Tim, but I doubt it. Although Delta will be gone. It's gonna be close. Oh, and he just gets Tim. That's unlucky for Tim. I would have thought he'd hold the position, but yeah. Janne staying out. I'm not sure if he hasn't got any fresher softs. I think that might just be the case. I'm not sure why Fish Gamer is on mediums, because I would have gone softs regardless. But maybe this is a strategy to save the softs. But still, his gap is intriguing. 115 to Janne. Because he's not that far from Janne, and 115 is less than a lap. But he's certainly behind Janne, because this is Janne. I am a bit confused here, I have to say. As well, tyres have really lost their relevance now. We know everybody on softs except Fish Gamer, and it's all fresh soft, so not really any surprises. But let's follow Fish Gamer and just see what he's doing and what is happening, because his gap doesn't change as well. So I'm thinking this might be a game glitch as Tim is in. Why is Tim in? Why is he boxing? He's lost position to Janne now. Or maybe that's his strat. Maybe he wants to be behind Janne, or he wants to get fresher softs. Maybe he knows Janne is quicker than him. So I could easily imagine him just stopping to be behind and then carve his way through with the help of Janne. Because, well, let's face it, Janne is quicker than Tim, no question about that. Difference is quite noticeable on track. But regardless, we still have Fish Gamer here at the end of the queue, and maybe he was staying out in the hopes that he could unlap himself, but all he can do now is just not get involved, really. As we are going to head for a safety car restart on this lap, whilst we see Marcel still in the pit limiter for some reason. It's weird. Yeah, nice. Sorry for that. We are heading for safety car restart here at Monza. Safety car lights have gone out. We got the message from race direction. Right now, race control safety car in this lap. Bernd Mailander driving away in his Mercedes there into the distance. Marcel Jan is going to create a gap here through sector 3. He's going fairly slow. As we're actually going to turn telemetry on for the moment just to try and see how this restart is going. Everybody's bunched up here, everything looking fine. I'm not sure if this is clever that he's not gone already. But he'll know what he's doing as he's bolting now. Well, telemetry allows us to see ERS, so that might actually be quite interesting as Falcon fighting there in the background. No, Matti and Janne, that looked like there was maybe a fight happening, but not really. The Williams not having a civil war there, not really. As Falcon, not really. Just showing himself in the mirrors of Marcel. As yeah, the dash is totally broken there on the steering wheel. We've got a very interesting second gear. So it's now 12 seconds penalty for Fish Gamer, and honestly, what is he doing? Like, at this point, just Matti Jonga's 3-second time penalty, interesting. I mean, at this point, just stop, go on softs, try and get a fastest lap. You're going to finish P8 regardless. But yeah, now, since both Williams now have a 3-second time pen, maybe Janne is going to be less hesitating to overtake his teammate, as he's got a lot more ERS as well, and he's the reigning champ. So is there going to be team play from Matti? Is he going to let Janne go for it? Just crack on, but using ERS down here doesn't really suggest that he's happy to just give up the position. Whilst Janne still has pretty much full battery, so he's gonna be on a absolute rampage in the final 2 laps, or maybe 2.5. I'm not sure. He starts using it. He starts using. Matti is not using, and well, Janne's just used a bit, just to stay close, just to be close here. Yinmo gets a 3-second pen, and now that's interesting. That's now interesting for the Williams boys. So we see, again, a bit of ERS, but just a tiny boost out of the corner, not really the big attack yet. Anyways, let's get further up the road as Falcon. Yeah, a bit less ERS than Yinmo, but not much. Also, Marcel not really got a lot left. If Yinmo plays this smart, he might gain track position here, but the question is that going to be any use as Lindsay goes down his inside. Janne has overtaken Matti now on the straight using some fair chunk of battery, but he's able to push now and maybe pass Yinmo, which would give him P4 as it stands, but there could still be an incident. He can still get fastest lap as he sets a purple first sector, so obviously that is going to be the aim for him now as well. I haven't bothered to look. Has the RS been activated yet, or is it going to be activated next lap? Well, this answers the question. It's already active, as Janne will have it here on the back straight, down towards the Ascari. Clean run here, going to be very important, as he's headed out of the chicane now, and well, he's not used all his battery. He's saving some for the final lap. That is clever. As we switch to the battle for the lead, as Janne sets the fastest lap, 1:20.665. So we see some squabbling here. This could prevent fastest lap for Marcel and Falcon, as well as so. Marcel ghosting there. Marcel is ghosting there. Yinmo goes past. If Marcel was ghosting there on purpose to try and repass Falcon for the lead, that could spark some controversy because that's illegal. Lindsay there on the inside of Yinmo, and it's a big spin. Lindsay's out of the running. Lindsay's down to P7. Falcon leads the race and ahead of Yinmo, but Yinmo's got a pen, so Yinmo will be desperate to try and gain track position here. Go past into Ascari. Not dropping behind those Williams, not even getting close to those Williams boys. Falcon has to tuck in ahead of the Ascari. And now it's going to be Marcel Jan. Does he have the battery? Probably not. As Janne is also on full attack mode. Tim with another penalty, 6 seconds. So he's not going to be clear of Lindsay. And he's going to drop to P7 as it stands. But we've got a big battle here. Marcel bit wide, but it's not going to be a penalty for him. So you see Matty cross the line ahead of Tim. Tim's going to drop behind. Lindsay, maybe Lindsay just over 6 seconds, just not getting it. Not getting it on the run to the line. Tim keeps position, he holds it. And he's going to retain P6. Decent race for him, important points. And he's going to be somewhat happy with this race, I think. Crazy stuff, but it's going to be another podium for Yinmo, who's really hit the ground running this season. It's his first season in this league, so yeah, great stuff there. Welcome to Slipstream Racing League. And he's definitely in the right spot here in Tier 1. Actually, I don't know if he was in Tier 2 last season. I don't really know the Tier 2 guys. But yeah, here's your winner. It's Falcon in the Red Bull, then it's Marcel Jan, Yinmo Riz, Janne P4, Matty Jonga P5, strong finish for the Williams guys there, 4-5, Tim in P6, Lindsay in the Haas P7, Fish Gamer P8. He's gonna be classified, but Scott, Alwood, Clark and BMH66 won't be classified, so yeah. Tough one for them, because well, Scott and Clark would be in the points technically, P9 and P10, but yeah, they haven't covered more than 90% of the race distance, so yeah, that doesn't count. The rules are what the rules are. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the stream. Please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Yeah, we're going to continue next week with the next round. Let me check the calendar. Well, in the meantime, anyways, I'll hope you'll have an absolute great time. Next round is going to be Austria, and then round 5 Netherlands, round 6 Mexico, round 7 Canada, round 8 Brazil, then France, Las Vegas, Italy, Qatar, and we're expecting to maybe just get to Qatar, or maybe round 13 Japan, but certainly not further than round 14, which would be Spain. So yeah, we'll get to about round 12 to 14. Anyways, stay healthy, have a great time, have a good week, have a nice weekend, enjoy your day, and hopefully you'll tune in next week.